Hello, everyone, and welcome to the sharing group. Y'all, I am just like all my teeth are showing. Like, I'm so excited today, y'all. Today's Course in Miracles lesson is lesson 76, which states, I am under no laws but God's. I am under no laws but God's. And today, everyone, I am excited to introduce you to a gentleman who is absolutely under no laws but God's in so many ways. Jelani Clay, aka JClay, is a spiritual teacher and a life coach. He is also a rap artist who makes music with an intention of healing even the most reluctant of minds. He was awarded the Mental Health Advocate of the Year Award by Healing Black Women. And JClay is one of the leaders of the spiritual hip hop movement, y'all. We got to keep it going. We got to keep it dynamic on here. His recent album, which I have, I Am Nobody, I Am Someone, has been endorsed by industry and psychology professionals, music fans, and is being heralded as a key tool in healing the mind. As one fan has said, which I absolutely agree with, if Jesus rapped, it would be this. So JClay, we are so thrilled that you have joined us today. Welcome to the sharing group.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. It's a good intro. I'm feeling good. Yeah, all of it.
Yes. So start out with your spiritual experience. How did you step into this space?
Man, okay. It's almost like a lifelong thing. I'll try to keep it simple though. So let's see where to start. It started at the beginning. I've always had a relationship with God. I don't know where it came from. It was just there. Like I always felt a presence with me. I would, talk to God and things as a child. Then as I got older, when fear starts settling in, I would always go to God when I'm scared, like, oh, I'm scared to do this, come with me, and everything would be all right. But then one day I started to feel bad, like guilt, which is not of God, but I started to feel guilty that I'm only coming to God when I'm scared or fearful. So I was like, well, let me learn about God. Let me figure out, God's story. And the only thing I knew then was the Bible. So I started there. I started reading the Bible on my own. I started noticing certain things that were in there that maybe people said, but didn't line up with what was in there. And I was like, well, how do people get here or get there? I started asking questions. Some people answered, others was like, you shouldn't ask that. You're not supposed to ask that question. They got scared. And I learned not to talk to them about it. But, I was always inquisitive. So I studied the Bible religiously, read it over and over. I made certain conclusions that were not from the norm, but it was just based on my interpretation of the Bible. I'm like, well, this says this, this says that, this has to be true, like that. So I kind of carried that with me. And alongside, there was this like, I guess, philosophy side of it too, where one of the biggest quotes that changed my life was, watch your thoughts for they become your words. Watch your words for they become your actions. Watch your actions for they become your habits. Watch your habits for it becomes your character. Watch your character for it becomes your destiny. And me being who I am, I broke it all down to see if it was true. And I noticed all the parallels, like, wow, this is true. Like my thoughts shape all of this. But then I took it a step further and said, well, my thoughts are influenced by my beliefs. So if I can change my beliefs, I can really change all that. And I'm the one who can control my beliefs. So out of that quote, the only thing that I can control were my thoughts, words, and actions. So I just started being very diligent in my word. Like even what was coming in, what was going out, I would catch myself. I would, if I found myself judging or something, I'll try to stop and go away from that and just think positive about things. And then, but I still wasn't what I consider there yet. So I'm living my life, doing what I do, making music, regular egoic hip hop, like I'm the man, y'all not, stuff like that. I got everything, y'all don't got nothing, things like that. And then I came across a book called Jesus, My Autobiography. So I said I studied the Bible. Jesus was the man in the Bible. Like my perceived persona of him was he's just laid back. He's like, you want to do that? Do it. It's cool. You want to do that? Hey, it's like that. That was my perception, even though people saw him different, like the general Christian consensus. So anyway, it was this book called Jesus, My Autobiography. And I'm like, how? How is this possible? So I read, and it's a channeled reading. So it was a lady who channeled Jesus, and I didn't really know much about channeling, and because of that one quote in the Bible about like when they sought mediums, it was looked down upon. People were afraid of channels, but I was like, you know what? Let me keep an open mind. Let me read it.
Mm-hmm.
So I devoured that book probably in a day. Like it was speaking to me. I knew because I read it as both a skeptic and one who wanted to believe. The belief won over, and it was just like this fills in all the missing pieces. I see the error in my ways. I see why certain things go this way and certain things go that way. And in that book, he said, this is why I wrote A Course in Miracles. So I said, let me go on Amazon, look at the author, look at the publisher, different author, different publisher. I'm like, okay, if he's endorsing this from here and it's channeled, and this is channeled too, this has to be the real deal. And then I started studying the Course in Miracles, and the rest is history. It shaped my music. It's a bunch of songs I let go of that I was making that I just knew wouldn't really serve anyone. Yeah, and here I am.
I love that. And your experience is somewhat similar to mine, where I was reading these books that kept referencing A Course in Miracles. And I was like, what is this book, A Course in Miracles? So thank you for sharing that with us. And I'm going to actually, because I love this book, Jay. Jay is referencing Jesus, My Autobiography, which y'all, if you scroll down on my videos, as I'm teaching some of the lessons of A Course in Miracles, I reference this book. It's incredible. It's dynamic. I actually know somebody who read the book, and after she finished it, she just put it to her heart and just started crying. So I do recommend everyone get it. So I love that was a part of your experience. And I love, there's so much in the book where Jesus is saying, I mean, he even says a couple times, like, this is going to shake people up, but this is the truth. It's like in his own words. Sometimes with the Bible, you're reading about Jesus's life from other people, right? Yeah. Their perspective, the perspective of Luke, the perspective of John. And I love that he had an opportunity to say, this is my story in my own words. So y'all get it. If you get it and read it, comment. I would love to hear what everyone has to say about it. So thank you for expressing that. So then you found A Course in Miracles.
Yeah,
what did that do?
So this book, just for anyone wondering, it is not an easy read. Like, but the best way I describe it, because I'm a rapper, it's like every line is the greatest rap lyric you ever wrote. Heard, and it's just like, what is going on? It was so powerful that somewhere in the middle of it, I had what I found out later was called an ego death. Now, I'm not saying that I'm ego-less, and we'll get into that, but it was more like I mourned myself. It was 7 days. I just felt off. I just felt sad. But really what it was, I was letting go of the identity I thought I was, like all the hardships I faced, all the pain and things I overcame that I wore like a badge. Like, yeah, this is me. This is my people. This is this. Like all of that was just, I realized how meaningless it was. And when it was gone, it was like the world was brighter. It was of a new color. It was, the sound was pure. Like everything was just that much better. And yeah, it's beautiful.
Was that ego death? Was that, I think I've heard you reference that before. Was that when you recognized all the things that we think that we are, right? A son, a whatever other titles or labels we have. And I think did you come to a point where you released all that and it was like, you know what, this is not me,
Yeah.
right?
It was everything. Like you said, all the titles: son, husband, friend, student, teacher, rapper, like whatever, like black person, black man,
Mm-hmm.
I started to look at everything through a new light. So it wasn't like before you kind of learn things on your own based on what happened to you. But what if you were wrong about the interpretation of what happened to you? Then you're kind of wrong about everything else that followed. And so I was starting to look through God's eyes, in a sense, like take myself to the higher level, say, I surrender. I don't know what this means. Give me the interpretation, or give me the true meaning of what I've interpreted as maybe this or that. And when you start putting everything to this rightful lens, you realize there's really no difference in anyone. Everything really is love or a call for love. And the identities, in a way, can keep us more separate, more divided
Mm-hmm.
and more in pain, like by taking on the suffering of a group of people, by taking on the negative parts of different affiliate groups, and not just race. It could be the city you're from. It could be your political affiliation. Just so many groups. We can take on those negative things instead of using it for how it was intended to bring people together.
I love that. I love that. When you said that, it made me think of, I love Eckhart Tolle, and I think you've referenced him before as well. He said in one of his books how when we label stuff, it's almost like disrespectful to the soul. And he was talking about a tree, how we call a tree a tree. And by us giving it that label, what does that tell us about the tree? No, nothing, as opposed to seeing it as this incredible, tall, being, and so I love how you were saying you're taking on just these identities and these labels of all these categories, and what we have when we release all that is the beauty of who we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even just real quick, to use the tree example, because I've thought about this too, like, what exactly is a tree? Is it the bark? Is it the leaves? Is it the branches? Is it the roots underneath? And if you compare it to us, like to humans, like the skin could be like the bark, the hair could be the leaves, but leaves fall. The tree is still the tree. Like certain things, your skin cells regenerate, but you're still you. Like, what is the tree? What is anything really? And when you go into it, you're like, wow, nothing is what I thought it was. But like you just said, it's so much more. It's everything.
Yes. You sound like you were always a philosopher. You always kind of thought into things instead of just taking it for Facebook value. It sounds like that before you even got into some of your spiritual experiences.
Yeah, I've been a curious individual, and like how I think about this too. As a kid, there was some stuff I wouldn't accept from adults. Like, you ask a question and they give you an answer, like, that don't sound like it's true. I don't know the truth yet, but I'm not going to accept that from you. But then sometimes I might accept something from adults, like somebody says the boogeyman gonna get you, and I might think that that's real, and it's just funny the things we pick and choose. But I mean, even stuff like that, yes, I've philosophized the boogeyman and all of these things, just because I am curious as to where things can come from, how it works, why people are afraid of it, like all of that. Yeah.
So there's so many layers to you, Jay. Like, there's so many layers to you. Your album, let me show it again. What's the title of it? I Am Nobody, I Am Someone. What does that mean? Tell us what that means.
So many, it's so many meanings. On one level, it's kind of like like I am nobody, like you like humble, and then but I am someone, and then you try to you get that confidence, but at the same time, it's literally I am not a body. Like I might have a body. I am nobody. I am someone. Like I am some of this oneness. I am part of everything that there is. And
Wow.
yeah, it's that identification that we sometimes carry, but it's also no identification at the same time. And it's just playing off both of those.
Oh, I love that. I'm nobody. And those of us who have been in this spiritual community long enough knows that we are not our bodies, but I am someone. I love that. I love that. I love that. So I'm gonna talk about some of your quotes, right? So y'all, when I went to Jay's website, which is amazing, you have to stop by his website. I was looking at some of his quotes and I'm like, oh, that's my favorite. And then the more I kept reading, I'm like, oh, I love that. That's my favorite. So I'm going to read some of your quotes. One of the quotes that I read that I loved is there anything worth being unhappy about for the rest of your life? Forgive it. Forgive it. Talk about that quote a little bit. I thought that was dynamic because what is worth us being happy about for the rest of our lives?
Yeah. Yeah. It goes along, like, people say life is short, like life's too short. It's kind of like, I see it as like life is the longest physical thing we do. So like life is too long to be miserable. And like, in a sense, like, why would you like if you're gonna be here for a long time, even a year, like a year of doing what you don't want to do is the longest year ever. But a year of doing what you want to do, it's just so quick. It flies by, and it's like, why would you want to be miserable in that long of time? I'm gonna share a quick story of a friend. And this came up too when I was running this morning, like jogging, and I just stuff just comes in your mind and pops in. I was like, that's odd. Why did that come in? But I have a friend that I used to work with, and she started dating someone outside of the country, and
Mm.
they meshed well. It was real good, and but then like that person wanted to move to the US, be closer to it. But sometimes outside countries they want to come to the US. They want the excuse. So all of her friends were telling her, they were like, they're like, yeah, he's just using you. You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't give him. He's just using you to get to the US. He's gonna take advantage. Blah blah blah. And she asked me what I thought, and I was like, well, are you happy now? She said, yeah. And this is way before like the spiritual stuff that I had, but she was like, yeah. And I said, well, there's two outcomes. Either you're going to be happy until you find out that he doesn't really, like you. He's just using you. But in all that time, you would have experienced like endless joy, endless happiness, or you end up happily ever after, where for the rest of your lives together, you're just happy. Either way, it sounds like a win. You might as well just go full fledged into it. And she was like, yeah. And just to give, like, this is probably maybe like 10 plus years ago. They're still together, have a beautiful family together, things going great. But it goes to show you that, like, even if something doesn't turn out right, it's still worth the joy to have it. Like, be happy till you're not,
I love that. I love that. I love how you were able to look at that in a way, in an objective way, in terms of time. Like you said, you're happy now until maybe you may discover, you may not, you may discover that he's using you. But in the meantime, you're happy. And I love the great advice. They're still together. That's amazing. It's amazing how the lens of what we look through can be so fear-based. Yeah, instead of love-based, instead of hoping for the best, how we always hear from others the worst case scenario. You said something very dynamic that I do not want to miss. You said once you discovered A Course in Miracles and some of your spiritual experiences, the impact of your words. And that began to impact your music. Tell us about that, because listen to me, y'all. People don't think about this. People really don't think about this. When you think about a song, that the lyrics of that song, the chorus of that song is repeated over and over and over again. So to understand that you grasp the concept of that and was like, you know what, let me change these lyrics because this is going to be spoken by the masses. Tell us how you came to that.
Yeah, it was the understanding of the oneness of it all. Like everything that I experience is just a reflection back to me. So like, for an example, if I were to give you a compliment, right, you're either gonna smile, which comes back to me and I smile more, or you might give a compliment back, which again, makes me smile more. But if I, scorned you in some way, then your face might show it and then I feel bad and, it's reflected back to me, or you might say something hurtful back to me and it's reflected and then my day is messed up because of that. But again, it's just a mirror of what I put out there. And so when I had some certain songs, it was like, well, I don't want people to be torn on certain things, like all right in some areas, but not all right in others. That's splitting. It just breaks even. Like I want people to be all right in all areas and then pass this along to the next person and the next person, so that you can say it's selfish, but then all I see is just love, light and love everywhere I go. So I knew that I had to put it out there that way, in a certain way, that even if you say this over and over and over again, it triggers something where it's like, I get it now. Even if you don't get it on the first listen, like you'll maybe get it on the 100th listen or even the 10th, who knows? But yeah.
What an incredible sense of personal responsibility. What an incredible sense of personal responsibility to say, let me have intention behind my music and how it will impact the collective. This is giving me life, Jay. It really is. It's giving me life. And so, okay, more than that, y'all. And we're going to hear some of his music. Jay has been able to figure out a way to put out high vibrational music that, y'all ready, sounds good. Because we've had a lot of, artists, and we give them the title positive rap or whatever. And it's like, okay, but you've been able to it sounds amazing. How do you do that?
Well, thank you. So, okay. Well, first, okay, I do want to pointed out to me that teaching and learning are one. Like, to learn something, you should know it well enough to teach it. To teach something, you would have to have learned it well. And so, like in that, I knew that I had to be a teacher, teacher of all these things that I'm learning, like all of these lessons. And I was like, well, music, I do music. I'm good. I'm great at music. Like, why not apply it there? But then, like you said, there's a fine line where it can become corny, like you can do it. And it's just like, it's not going to do anything if it's corny and people don't like it. So it was almost like I had to try to figure out if I could do it, and if it would be accepted. And I mean, I had doubts, even though I know that doubt is not real, but I mean, going along this line, put it like this. The making of this album was the first time that I know definitively I heard God's voice saying, just finish the album. And
wow.
It was almost like I took a trip. I'll put it like, I'll tell you the story real quick. I took a trip to London just to visit. And I was like, you know what? I might as well do an open mic. Nobody knows me here. If I bomb, so what? They don't know me here. Whatever happens, happens. And the two songs I did that I had finished at the time were Shine Blind and I Like You That Way. And so I did the first song at the open mic, and then everybody was like, wow, okay, they were into it. And then I did the second song, and then like people were coming out from outside, like the doorman, like everybody, people taking pictures and cameras. And I was like, okay, God, I hear you. I got something. let me continue on this mission. And so like that was kind of the first confirmation I got. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. And a lot of people have asserted that I mean, we all channel. So you channel this, and even you said you heard God say, finish it. Like that's incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read another quote, y'all, from that Jay has made, and I love this. I love this. It says, don't let your past determine your path. That's not where home is. That's not where home is. And it made me think about a quote in A Course in Miracles where it says, your past was made in anger. And so it made me immediately think of, and you're right, it is not where home is. Where is home, Jay?
It's here, it's now. It's right here, right now. It's
yeah.
It's right.
Yes, I love it. Okay, so here go my favorite. If I reminded you that you are perfect, would you argue me down or step into your perfection? And what I thought about when I read this quote is someone on my page, on my channel, left a message. We were talking about We Are God. I mean, the guest and they left a message, and they were so offended that we said that we are God collectively, all of us. And I responded and I said, would you be more comfortable if I told you that you were a sinner, that you were born in sin? Does that make you more comfortable? And so when the quote made me just think of that. It's like, if I tell you you're perfect, would you argue me down? What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I do understand. Like, it was tough for me to accept my own perfection, because it's almost, well, it's not scary anymore, but it was scary then when I first stepped into it. And then when I was telling other people and showing them, how they're perfect, and just showing them all the ways I see them as perfect, like they were almost frightened of it as well, and ready to argue and fight for their misperceptions or their sins. You know what I mean? They were ready to fight. Well, no, I'm not perfect because I did this. And then I wanted to take a step back, because like when you argue with someone, you give them a chance to reaffirm things that might not necessarily be true about them. And I want people to recognize their perfection. So it was like, okay, this might not be the setting or the conversation, but the seed is planted. I'm gonna let it go for now and not go back and forth. But it's people are ready to fight for their limitations.
Yes, you're right. We have been so conditioned into smallness. We have been so conditioned into smallness. Something else I've also heard high vibrational beings channel through Tina, actually the author of Jesus, My Autobiography, is that we've been lied so much. We've been lied to so much that the truth sounds like a lie. The truth sounds like a lie. Like people just become, even if it's a beautiful truth, even if it's something like you said that speaks to our perfection, we vehemently resist it. So
and I'll use this truth test, like, and this was it didn't say it like this in the course, but it was definitely influenced by the course. But what I consider true is what's true is true for all time. So like, let's say I went to the store today. That's my truth. That's not true for all. So I can't really say that that's necessarily truth. It's more maybe a personal fact. I don't want to get too deep on the layers of what existence is, what time is, but if it's true for everyone, and it's true no matter the time, here, there, wherever, that's absolute truth.
Love it. So let's talk about today's course lesson. I want you to break, and then we can play some of your music.
Okay.
I am under no laws but God. So if whoever has been following my channel know that all of the lessons, some kind of way, I don't look at what the lesson is until I've scheduled the guest. So I've stopped saying it's synchronistic. I know that I'm like, God and I are doing something with this, right? So when I looked to see what your lesson was, I just almost fell out of my chair. I'm like, this is so Jay. So what does that lesson mean for you? I'm under no laws but God's.
It means so much. Like even as a kid, like you said, I was a curious kid, and how I told you I would accept certain things and not others. It's kind of along those same lines. Like even things that might be considered my responsibility. If I don't align with that, and if I don't think God aligns with that, or not even align, but if I don't just think it's for me, I'm not going to do it no matter how overwhelming the pressure. It's just one of those things like, nah, this is for me. This is what I'm going to stick to. And I'll give just a little quick example. That one of the hardest things I ever resisted from doing, but I had to do it just to learn this lesson. I was at a basketball game, Bulls versus Rockets. I live in Houston, but I'm from Chicago, so I'm rooting for the Bulls. And you know, at the beginning, they have people, the armed service. You know, they give gratitude and things for the armed services. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, people were clapping, I was clapping, everybody was clapping. Then somebody stood up, someone else stood up. Next thing you know, everyone's standing up. So like, there's only like 2 people left sitting down, me and my dad. My dad did, you know, serve, and it's just me and him. But I know, you know, he I don't want to say yes, I don't want to affirm anything wrong with him, but I saw him shrug finally and just get up and like, no, Dad, no, stay. So it felt like a force was just trying to lift me up. But it was more so for me to realize that even if the whole world is doing something, and not to say I don't agree with standing up, it's nothing to stand up and clap for somebody, but even if the whole world is doing something and you just, for whatever reason, say in this moment, it's not for me, that's okay. You're under no laws but God's. And even with that, to go deeper, me having that feeling of what I thought would be a good thing to do, I got that from God. Like anything we really love doing, it's a gift from God. That intuition, that inkling, that thought of joy, like, ooh, you should go do this now. That's a thought from God. It's only when we have fear-based thoughts that's not of God. Those joyful thoughts in the moment. And under no laws by God's means, if you have a packed day, you have to do this, that. And in the moment, God says, hey, go to the park and play. Like you have that inkling to go to the park and play. And then once you did that, everything else just is easier. Like you still get all your work done. You still get everything done that you're supposed to do, but it's a completely different mindset. You do it with love and joy in your heart. And it's about listening to that. Like you're under no rules but God. Time doesn't exist. Like there's no deadlines. It's none of that. Like you owe somebody money. And I'm not saying don't pay back your debts. I'm not saying that at all. But I mean, if you don't know how you're going to pay it, just trust God. And then something will happen in a miracle. You're like, oh, wow, I'm able to pay this. Here you go. And it's really that simple and beautiful if we allow it to be.
Yes. And you just didn't want to stand up just to not stand up. You funny.
Well, not like, but just because I was already at the end. Like by that point, everyone stood up. So it's like, can I really stay seated? And I promise, it felt like that clap lasted 5 whole minutes. Like it was just like everyone was waiting on me to get up. And then when I finally let go and said, I'm not getting up, it's like everybody stopped and then sat down. It's like,
so you never got up, Jay?
Never got up.
Oh my goodness, you are funny. Okay, so let's play one of your songs.
Okay,
let's play one of your songs. So
would you rather me play the lyric video or the real video?
I think the people need to see the lyrics.
Okay, I'll do that.
Why you holding on? You don't need that. They just feeding BS super strong. You don't eat that. They telling you that you is on your own. You believe that? You get everything you ever want. You can see that, but you feeling stripped cause your grip tight. Now that grip is a fist. All you wanna do is fight. So your work don't work and your worth won't rise. You think you just bout your money, but you want what it can't buy. You can never sit alone, cause them voices so alive. But you always on your own, cause you push them all aside. At least that's what you see when you look through closed eyes. Having a bad past contest like you bout to win a prize. Like, I had it worse. No, I had it worse. Nah, man, I had it worse. Let go. You only scared cause they told you you should be. You only there cause they told you they would be. Why don't you care what I told you you could be? Why you prepare for everywhere but where the good be? Your life is like what you know you not gon' like, but you must like it cause you recite it every night like it's on mics. It's like you change to what you foster. It's like your brain is your imposter. It's like you glory in your story like your pain's a badge of honor. Let go. Why do you stay here? Let's go. Why do you play here? Let's grow. Why do you not do you instead dwell in the hell that you lived through? That's old. Remember, only the weak have enemies and the strong have inner peace. Only the weak have enemies and the strong have inner peace. Let go. 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 Hey, hey, what you holding on to? Guilt, pain, shame, man, that's what you don't do. Nah, hey, what you holding on for? Is pain what you wanna be known for? Man, let go. 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 Hey, thinking that you woke, but you still tired. Wanting God to take the wheel, but you still drive. But your half full of glasses, are you still blind? Yeah, you look good, but do you feel fine? Hey, yeah, you look good, but do you feel mine? It's yours, nothing is forced. Making these judgments about life, who's your source? Feeling almighty, now you're like, oh Lord, I need a victory. But let me ask you, who are you without your history? Man, everything is, nothing was. Created by, with, and for love. One more time. Everything is, nothing was. Created by, with, and for love. Let go.
Let me make
Thank
myself.
Yeah, and even like that song, like it came from a real place. Like I was sharing this wisdom, this newfound wisdom I had with others, helping them in their situations, and like I saw a pattern where people just kept bringing it up, like they wouldn't let go of it. It was like it was happening right now, and every time they revisited it in their mind, it was happening all over. They were reaffirming that trauma, making it a part of themselves, and it was like, I need a way to break through to let go. You know, like free yourself now. What's the purpose of having all that pain? What is it bringing you? And yeah.
That's incredible. I love the last lyric. Created by, I'm gonna mess it up.
Created by, with, and for love.
And for love. That definitely is. That's everything, because it's who we are. It's who we are. I love that song, y'all. I love that song. Yes, thank you for playing that. Thank you for playing that. Let me read another quote. Let me read another quote. Here's one of my favorites, y'all. It says, all things happen for a reason. Be the reason. Be cause. I was like, this dude right here, be cause. I love how you, your play on language, you know, how you your interaction with language. I love.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I love language too. Like even learning, you learn different languages and you find the origin of words. It's just amazing, the parallels. But yeah, even the because, right? So one thing when people want to heal or they feel sick or they have an ailment, they start searching for a reason, like why it happened. They say, yeah, this happened because this happened because. And so what I try to tell people is don't look for a cause. Don't search for it. Just be here. Just accept whatever happened has happened, but don't look for a cause because you're then making it okay to feel that now. And if you don't attach a cause to it now, it'll just dissipate. And before you know it, you forgot that you were in pain, because you didn't give it a purpose. And so like, don't look for a cause. Just be the cause now. Like just be, I'm here, I'm now.
Be cause. Love that. It makes me think about, when you ask a child, who did this? Or why did you do this? And they're just like, because, but it's like they don't even, children know, like, let's not delve into this. Let's not give life to something we don't enjoy. Just, it is what it is, But I love that when I read that, I thought, be the cause of your happiness, be the cause of your health.
Even with the kid example, like I remember being that kid and giving that answer, but that's also a fear-based answer too, because we feel that, okay, we see how madly you're asking me this question. So if I give you my real answer, you're probably going to be more mad. So, because, yeah.
Okay, so this one is hot, y'all. This one is hot. I think this is the last quote over there. This one, I love this quote. How can you ever fall when your wings work? Stay fly. I was like, this dude right here. I was cracking up. Stay fly. So tell us about that quote.
Yeah, it's a play on words, but it's a deeper meaning. Fly, dressed nice, looking good. But also, yeah, we're gravity is not of us. Like we are holding on. It's more like it's not gravity that's pushing us down. We're holding on to the belief of gravity. And in a sense, like when we let go, we're able to rise above everything else. It's like we can look down and see, oh, that's not a big deal. That's not a problem. We can be above the clouds. The clouds are like the problems that obscure the light, but we can go up to the light at any time. And so there's really no such thing as falling, especially when we realize we are the light itself. We are the world itself. Like it's no way to fall from anything.
I love that. I love that. So tell us about, okay, so I said that you were a life coach. Tell us about your life coaching. What do you do? How do you assist others?
Yeah, so it's a few ways. So I do have a podcast called Perfect Mode. And the quote that you mentioned before, if I, reminded you of you're perfect, that's kind of one of the catchphrases of our show. But it's through that, and we I have a co-host, Troy Washington, and we give people these spiritual truths in a practical way, like in a way that you can handle it in your everyday life, because it's not always easy to see the parallels. You think, oh, they're on some spiritual stuff, they're on this positive stuff, but no, it's deeper than that. Like if you can see the underlying meaning between things, you'll recognize that. So I do it in that way. Sometimes I take on, clients one-on-one that, might want to book a call, and we go into it. But, and often sometimes a lot of my friends, they just come to me with something and I can't help but sharing. And a lot have told me like, you're my therapist, man. Like, I don't know if you know this, but you're my therapist. But really, I can't even take credit in saying that I'm doing something. I'm just showing them another perspective that they haven't thought of. And they may have been looking at it from a place of fear or from a dark place, separated place. But when they see it for what it is, it's like, oh, there's nothing wrong with this situation. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with anything. And it allows the healing, like both physically and mentally.
Yes, I have definitely swung by your the podcast, and shout out to Troy, right? Shout out to Troy. It's awesome, y'all. If y'all stop by, they can get on through Facebook, right?
Right, through Facebook. Yeah, I gotta get you on there too one day. So Yeah.
They do it live every week.
Yeah, every Sunday from 12 Central to 1 Central, 1 p.m.
Yeah, so they you know, it's just open. They have a topic every week, and it's live, and they just, you know, express wisdom. It's interactive. People, you know, chime in through chats. It's really, really nice. It's really, really nice. So yes, check that out, y'all. I'll put that in the description box. What other projects are you working on, Jane?
Yeah, okay. It's a few things. Because in this, how do I say this? In this new room, because it's all new to me. Like I quit my job in the midst of all of this too. Like I worked at NASA for 14 years.
Wow.
And I always wanted to do music. I always did music on the side. But it was once I decided to enjoy my job, when I give it a real go, put all the love and light into it, the stars aligned for me to quit, which I always want to do, and pursue music and stuff. So I learned valuable lessons about money in it that, you know, again, trust God, trust the higher power, trust spirit, all your needs would be taken care of. But if you add that doubt to it, it's not. So in this, I had to kind of learn to be without to see how much I had. And now that I'm realizing that I'm never without, it's expanding my mind to the type of projects that I can actually do. So I am working on another album. I am writing some scripts. I got some cool things coming to work. I still do my articles and my blog post articles on my site. There are loads of videos I want to make based on some of these songs that I'm starting to put together treatments for. So yeah, it's just more music, more lessons, more fun stuff. And I love the challenge of it too, like of figuring out how to teach a lesson in a song so that someone can understand it easily. But again, it's not corny, and it's disguised in the song where you don't even realize you're learning something, that you're jamming to it. So I mean, I do have the songs where you know you're learning something, but I like to sometimes disguise things in other ones too. So yeah, just a bunch of random projects that are all on this similar mission of helping people be themselves.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So, okay, I have a question. Jay. So what would you say, and we've heard it, like this is not new to us in the hip hop community, where if people challenge a hip hop artist and say, you know, you're talking about shooting, violence, drugs, gangs, and the rebuttal is, but this is my life. I'm rapping about my reality. What would you have? What do you have to say to that particular artist?
Yeah, it was twofold. So like one, every artist, you know, well, at least the successful ones, they take their craft seriously, right? And when you're performing a song, to give a good performance, you have to embody everything along with it. So like to really give it. So you have to go to that place emotionally where you were when you wrote the lyrics.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like bringing up the past trauma that we talked about. Like you're sitting in it, you're making it more real. You're bringing it from a distant past to this now future, making it your world. And you start to see the parallels of some of the artists that died young, and you listen to their lyrical content. Now, these may be some fire songs, like some of the best songs ever, but they might have this emotional component that's just very deep and dark and saddening. And when they invoke that night after night in front of, you know, millions of people, getting it reflected back to them, it weighs heavy on the heart, and they might not even realize it. So it's important to, just to be aware of that. So I do understand the coming to say, like, I'm just giving you the stories of what happened or what I witnessed. But again, it's only giving one side of it, because they might not understand the underlying meaning of why people do the things that they do. They're just saying the action, or the effect without the cause. And once you get to the cause, that's what some music is missing. So it's kind of like show both sides. Say, oh, this is what happened when I was nice to somebody, and they were nice to me back, you know, instead of, I saw this person, they looked me up and down, and I retaliated, or, you know, just but it's not even just violent things, like, because I know hip hop, you might associate certain violent undertones, but even in if you listen to some of Amy Winehouse's music, right? It was, I think she said she battled with depression at times. And like one of my favorite songs from her is Tears Dry on My Own, but I can't listen to it because it's so sad. Like when you really break down the lyrics, it's like, wow, like I hate that she feels like this. Like that's to live with this dark feeling, like your entire life. That's no way to live. Let that go. But then even if she was doing well, and then somebody said, "Hey, perform this song," and she does it, you're right back there again. So
yeah. Oh, you are speaking facts on that. I never even thought about, and see, you would have an appreciation for that as an artist. I never even thought about creating a song. And even if you've moved past that moment, and a lot of times the fans want you to stay right there. Don't go anywhere. Stay right, because that's how they know and love you. And you're right. They want you to re-perform that song. And it brings all that back. I think about Tina Turner when you said that. Like the song, What's Love Got to Do With It? She does not enjoy performing. She doesn't enjoy performing it because, of course, it takes her back, right, to that domestic violence and the hell that she was living in. And you're right. Wow, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
that's powerful.
It's deep. It's like, like some songs spark up nostalgia. Like that can work both ways. You can get placed into the mindset that you were in when you wrote the song, and it's just like, I didn't like my life then. And now I don't like my life now because I'm performing it or listening to it. Yeah.
And music has that power. I know a part of my own personal journey, my spiritually transformative experiences, I wanted to very much die because I was in an awful custody battle with my ex-husband that just did not end. And there was a song by a very popular artist that when I get into that space of suicidal ideation, I would listen to that song. In fact, that song was a part of my, like, because I'm dramatic, a part of my like suicide, like I'm gonna have this playing in the background. And I realized, like, after I kind of woke up, I got into a car wreck and a CD was in my car. And I forgot the CD in the car. And I always felt like that was spirit. Like, no, you're not listening to the CD anymore. But that's when I really began to recognize the impact of music. It can take your vibration up to the heaven, but it can also, even if the lyrics are not depressing, the energy behind it can impact our emotional and energetic body for sure. You cannot underestimate the impact of music. So you're absolutely right on that. Let's listen to another song, Jay.
All right. Let me share again. All right, so this is Mind Blown, featuring a great R&B artist here in Houston on the hook, but here we go.
Mind blown. Mind blown. I don't know. I just be rapping. Yeah. You were born perfect, then it shifted. Cause somebody more important said you different. Why they more important? Why you listen? How could you imagine what you missing? Cause when you imagine it, it's what you in it. So here you are, or are you hidden? And when you right here, why you distant? Or where you visiting to because it isn't? Yet and still, how could you prove what you miss? Like if you die, how could you prove you exist? And if you're life, why would you prove you at risk? And if you right, how could you lose what you is? Can't tell the real from the made up. That's why you still get chills when you prayed up. You the question and the answer, but you say what? Like how could you ever destroy your creator? Mind blown. Mind blown.
I fight for you, not with you, Yahweh. That's real love, I got answers, not questions, I got back. You're killing yourself, but you won't live again. We try to cheat death, but we wanna go to heaven. Preach, make that make sense. Mind blown, make that make sense.
Bunch of masks wearing masks with their mask on. Covered underneath, they got their past on. Another level deep that lies their passion. They help you keep a trap with a trap song. All the speech they block with the wax on. You still think weak when you act strong. Living an opinion cause the fact's wrong. You don't trust cause you don't trust yourself. That's why you cuss because you've cursed yourself. That's why you can't find, you don't search yourself. You try to hurt but you just hurt yourself. It's like what they say that I'm rubber, you glue. Your words can birth purpose, they'll always ring true. Even when they not, they do. You think that you speak against others, you're speaking to you. Mind blown.
I fight for you, not with you, Yahweh. That's real love, I got answers, not questions, I got bad. You're killing yourself, but you won't live again. We try to cheat death, but we wanna go to heaven. Preach, make that make sense. My blow, make that make sense. My blow, make that make sense. We try to cheat death, but we wanna go to heaven.
You trade your happiness for some cash. Think that makes you happy, contradictory. Going around trying to make a splash. Wonder why life seems slippery. Becoming next person was bad. That even good is a mystery. Being so stuck in the past that you try to make history. Fear-based thinking brings scary illusions. Solutions from delusions bring truth substitutions. And if it ain't true, then why hold it higher? You swear you 100 and you claim to hate liars. Self-hate is soft, so hate is what's found. Seek not to hold and you never be bound. Like could you see up when you always looking down? But look a little further while I readjust your crown. Mind blown.
I fight for you, not with you, Yahweh. It's real love, I got answers, not questions, I got pain. You're killing yourself, but you wanna live again. Try to cheat death, but we wanna go to heaven. Preach, make that make sense. Hold up. My blow, make that make sense. My blow, make that make sense. We try to cheat death, but we wanna live heaven. My blow.
I know y'all gotta love that. I know y'all gotta love that. Get the CD, Fire Music, okay? It's teenager approved. My 15-year-olds love it. That's incredible. Tell us a little bit behind that song. And I'm gonna tell you the lyric from that song that every time I hear it, it just reaches my heart. But tell us your thoughts behind that song.
So that song, it was all about like the contradictions that we live with, but don't even realize we're living with. Like it's almost like hidden contradictions. We say one thing and we really believe it, but when you look at our actions, it's like your actions are saying you believe something else. And when you kind of when they're brought to the forefront, you're like, wow, I never realized that. Like even like death, right? For the death of a loved one for many is a hard thing to get over, and because they think that person is gone, forever, and that or until they die too, and then they can reunite. But so that like there's a lot of sadness without realizing. Well, let's see how to say this in the simplest way possible. We're not us. We're all the people we're around, in a sense. Like when you're around certain people, you start picking up their speech patterns. You start picking up their mannerisms. So they are much a part of you as you are of them. But not only that, like all of the thoughts that you ever had of them are still there. You can even, if you calm your mind, you can even speak to them as if they were here right now and hear from them. And so like, when I said something like, how can you imagine what's missing? Like if you imagine it, it's with you right now. So it's not missing at all. And yeah, that was kind of the idea.
That's awesome. That gives me chills. It's so true. We never really lose our loved ones. Love never dies. It's who we are, right? I love the one of the lyrics that when I hear it, it just gives me life. It says, while you look further while I readjust your crown. I mean, and just to hear a hip-hop artist say that to anyone, look further while I readjust your crown. Like, this is your bigness. This is who you are. stepping into the power. It's like seeing God in everybody. And that lyric does something for me. All your music does everything for me. It's powerful.
And thank you. And to that, like, I want to make a point. Like, you hear successful people say it's lonely at the top, and it's because like they're looking at others as below them. Like, would you really want to be surrounded by people that's below you, or would you want to be surrounded by kings and queens? And if you adjust the crown of everyone around you, like, man, I feel good about life. Like, I'm around all these kings and queens, these people that are positive and happy and good, and we don't realize the role we play in creating our environment.
Oh boy, you've taken me to church. Oh, that's how I feel about this platform. I'm like, I get to talk to the sons and daughters of God. That's how I feel, like incredible, dynamic people like you. I'm just in heaven. I love it. It's out of joy.
I mean, it shows. I mean, if you're there too, you have full understanding of just the wisdom of the world, of how things are, and love, and it oozes off of you. I'm with you.
Well, give us all your information, Jay. Give us all your information. Talk about your website. Talk about, the podcast. Like lay it out so folks can find you.
Yeah, so the best thing is go to my website, JClay.org. That's JClay.org. It has my info. The best thing to do is sign up for my email list. I give free songs, but I also just give reminders and lessons and just certain things that just keep you elevated. And it talks about the album there. So like that's the easiest way to know about everything, but also stream the album. It's written a certain way that if you listen to it in order, it takes you, from A to B, but you can still listen to the songs individually. But I highly suggest listening from the beginning to the end. And in Perfect Mode, if you just go on Facebook and search Perfect Mode, that's mode, MODE. Like it's like a mode. Like, you have easy mode, hard mode, enter perfect mode, and you can be in that state. But that's where to find me. I'm on all social media platforms, but the website is the hub to all of it.
Yes. And that perfect mode is amazing. Y'all be speaking facts. They be on there speaking wisdom, y'all. So y'all got to check it out. And you make the course cool. And I love that. You make the course cool. This is not about the end of our lives, y'all. This is about enjoying our lives and releasing all of our unhealed areas so that we can really experience the joy of being part of Source.
I'm so glad you said that, because did you feel that too? Like when you started going to spiritual, that you thought you had to be all serious and life was going to be over, it's not fun anymore? Like that's farthest from the truth.
Yes. So what are your last words of wisdom to the audience, Jay?
Yeah, last words of wisdom are really just be. Just be. Like, don't think about it. Don't try to conceptualize everything right now. Like just be. First, just be. Just let go of everything, and then you can decide whether to do next and all of that. But the important thing is it's just like let all that go and just be in a state of being. We can be whatever we want. And when we remember that, like, I can be whatever, like really be, not do whatever you want. You can too, but it follows that state of just beingness.
Mind blown. Okay. You're blowing my mind. I love this. I love that, because we focus on doing this, right? But all we have to do is focus on being, because we already are. We already are love. We already are light. So with that, I'm going to read another one. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. Well, I was going to say too, like, even on the being, so we might want to do something and say, like, I want to start running every day, right? Well, just be a good runner. It's a completely different mindset than I'm being a not runner. Like I'm not a runner, but I'm gonna run. Then saying, no, I'm a runner, I'm gonna run. Like you can be in that mindset to make your doing so much easier. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so another quote. I said the last quote was the last one, right, y'all? I lied. So another quote. This reminds me of what you just said. This is another one of Jay's quotes. This brother deep, y'all. He deep. Okay. There is no one right way to be. There's no one right way to be. There are infinite right ways to be you. Infinite right ways to be you. And again, that's just getting out of that box of what we think we should be and the limitations. Talk about that.
Yeah, because we compare ourselves to so many people. We think they did it this way, I have to do it this way, but like nothing about that maybe resonates with you. And so you might stop yourself from doing what you really want to do or being what you really want to be, all because you're comparing your way of being to someone else's. And like all of us are uniquely perfect. Like we're created to see the world how we see the world. Like it's nothing wrong with it. It's everything right with it. And the sooner we accept it, like just the happier we'll be, the happier everyone around us would be. That's the cause of discomfort and pain. People aren't happy with themselves. They know that they're destined for something more or different than what they're already being and doing. And they've convinced themselves of like, I'm doing life wrong. I haven't figured it out. Like, no, you're doing it right. You know what to do. Trust yourself. Just be it, do it, see it. Like, yeah.
Yes. And I love it. And so do you have anything else to say, Jay, before I read you your closing remarks? This has been a rich conversation.
No, that's it. I just want to thank you again just for having me on here. Thank your audience for rocking with us. And yeah, that's it.
Yes, thank you. So, Jay, as today's Course in Miracles lesson states, you are under no laws but God's. And this is absolutely how you move in the world. From your style of rap to your very presence in this spiritual space, you have burst open any limiting beliefs that could have ever been thrust upon you. Your insistence on the relentless pursuit of your own internal guidance system, instead of that of the collective, is almost rebellious, which is what makes you so refreshing. One of your quotes says, "You are what you eat. You are what you consume. Make sure what you're consuming via television, music, social media, etc., is what you want to embody. Those hurtful thoughts may not be your own." And this is your quote, and you're right. What we consume feeds into what we create and manifest. It feeds into how we view ourselves. And one of the things that I love about you, Jay, is that you become the solution. And your music absolutely embodies the fifth dimensional hip hop that we all yearn to hear. And to see my teens bopping their heads to let go sends my vibration up to the heavens. Why? Because I know that while they enjoy the beats and the cadence of your rhymes, they are also subconsciously absorbing the life-affirming spiritual principles that will enable them to create a happy dream. And this is what you are doing for the entire collective, Jay. As we all rock to your music, taking our thoughts and our speech higher with each verse. You are truly one of the greats. You are one of the greats, and we are honored that you have come on the show and shared your contagious energy and love with us. Thank you for being here on this planet with us. We need you. Thank you for being on this planet with us, sir. We appreciate your presence, your wisdom, your experience. It's so juicy. It's so juicy. And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, yes,
Wow.
yes. And thank you all for joining. I know that y'all have enjoyed this. I know that y'all have enjoyed this. So thank you. Please subscribe and all that good stuff. Stop by Jay's website. Stop by, and just learn and absorb. You can actually listen to his music free on his website. So enjoy and heal yourselves, heal your bodies, and let the cells of your body enjoy the high vibration of his music, y'all. I love you all. And Jay, we end with a heart. All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. And everybody have a great week. And I will talk to y'all later. Until the next time. Bye-bye.
See y'all. Thank you.
Bye.